Welcome to the channel about a healthy lifestyle.
If you take care of your health, you probably take the time to exercise. Perhaps you regularly go to the gym, work out or go to the pool, ride a bike in the summer, and skate in the winter. But if over and over again you put off the start of exercise, explaining it by the fact that you do not have time to go to the gym or do not have the necessary equipment, with this clip we nailed you to the wall. After that, no excuses will not help. We will talk about an exercise that does not require much time. It does not require any sports uniform, neither in terms of clothing nor terms of physical fitness. All you need is a little space and a few minutes of free time. The main thing that is required is your desire and determination to get your body in shape. In this video, we will talk about the plank and what happens to your body if you do the plank every day. The plank is an exercise for all time. No fashion trend will ever replace it. So versatile and effective it is. The plank does not require any additional equipment and does not require a large amount of time, just a few minutes a day, and the effectiveness of this exercise is amazing. What happens if you do the plank every day? Changes will be noticeable in a few weeks. You will be pleasantly surprised when you look at your before and after photos. But not only on the outside but also inside our body there will be significant changes. The first thing that will happen to our body, thanks to the bar, is the strengthening of our musculature, primarily the cortex. The cortex is a group of muscles that provides support for the internal organs. These are the rectus abdominis, which is our famous abs. These are the oblique muscles, as they also say the lateral abs. And these are the back straighteners muscles, that is the two strips around the lower back. A strong core gives us a strong core inside our torso. Plus, the muscles provide support for the internal organs. Why do people get inguinal hernias? They say, for example, that you pushed too hard and that's why you burst. Really, there was straining, but why? Because the cortical muscles were weak. This can happen if the person is not trained, but if he has developed back muscles, then thanks to the powerful muscles, this hernia will not occur. So you need to train your abs not only to look good but also for the health of your internal organs. The plank will pump the rectus and oblique abdominal muscles, also the transverse muscle and the buttocks. You are strengthening your abs. The abdomen is a problem area for many people. Women are physiologically inclined to build up fat in the lower abdomen and on the sides, thighs, and buttocks. Men even quite young, and over the years even more so, have grown a beer belly. Therefore, the plank is useful to everyone, regardless of gender and age. The second is the back muscles. The plank has a very good advantage. It helps to develop the muscles of the back without risk or injury. Such exercises like the deadlift are undoubtedly very cool, but they have to be performed with perfect technique. Many people who practiced it got injured and had to recover for a long time. It cannot be said about the plank that it is traumatic. Regular performance of the plank will help to strengthen not only the lower back muscles but the upper, too. And well-developed back muscles not only look good on the outside but is also a very good prevention of back pain. Most of the back pain is due to undeveloped back muscles, so the bar will help us. Third, doing the plank regularly will improve our posture. It's well known that our posture instantly sends a conscious and unconscious message to everyone around us. A person with good posture is perceived as confident and attractive. A person with poor posture is perceived as weak, insecure, and, automatically, less attractive. We really judge a person very strongly depending on how much their shoulders are squared. So if you want to look good, posture is extremely important, and it's exactly the plank that will help us a lot in that, because it strengthens both the muscles of the cortex and the upper back. It also works the upper back. It also affects the neck and shoulder muscles, which are very important for posture. So if you do the bar regularly with the right technique, it will help you to tighten your posture, and literally in a month you can already notice the difference in the mirror. The fourth is body's metabolism. Of course, in order to affect our metabolism, the bar has to be done regularly. Then the effect will be really noticeable. By doing this exercise regularly, we will speed up our metabolism, and this will allow us to lose excess weight. We will burn more calories. At the same time, we will pump our rectus abdominis muscle, and therefore after a month, thanks to the sum of these two factors, we can see abs cubes. The next point is our body's sense of balance and the ability to keep our balance. For example, how long can you stand on one leg? The plank will help you in this direction, because doing this exercise is a great way to develop our stabilizer muscles. These are extremely small muscles that, although not visible in the mirror, perform a very important function as they maintain our balance. Knowing how to keep our balance will help us tremendously in any sport and in any physical activity, too. How long should we hold the bar? Of course, this is all individual. If you are a beginner and have never done sports before, try at least 15-30 seconds. The main thing is never to increase the duration to the detriment of proper technique. Although there is such an outstanding person as Tom Hull from Denmark, who set a world record. He stood in the bar for 4 hours and 28 minutes. It took him a long time to achieve this record, but he became famous all over the world. However, studies show that performing the bar for the longest possible time is not the best choice for your health. Rather, it is recommended to perform several sets. That is, you stand on the plank for a certain time with the right technique, but do not complete failure, so that you fall off your feet. Then rest for 1 or 2 minutes and perform the second approach, and do 2 or 3 or 4 approaches regularly. What are the pros and cons of the bar? The pros are obvious: its accessibility, strengthens a number of muscles, supports a straight posture, and the ability to perform this exercise almost anywhere there's a surface. But there are some disadvantages to this exercise. The first is that if you don't follow proper technique, you can create the spinal discs, lower back, and shoulder joints, which is not desirable. Therefore, the technique is always more important than duration, and the other disadvantage is that being on the plank excessively can slightly increase blood pressure. That is why it is recommended to do several sets. What is the correct technique to perform the plank? More than 100 variants of its performance have already been invented, but we will talk about the classic variant because it is both the most popular and probably the correct one for beginners. We get into the push-up position, bend our elbows to 90 degrees and put our weight on our forearms. The important thing to remember is that our whole body should form one straight line. It is as if we are stretching our spines. At the same time, our abdomen tightens and all the muscles tense. There are some nuances in the technique. Our head and neck should be relatively relaxed and free. We must keep our arms straight in front of us, or we can cross them. And it's important that our elbows are strictly under the shoulder joints. Otherwise, we would create an unnecessary load on shoulders and elbows. That is to say, the shoulder is perfectly perpendicular to the ground. We never bend the lower back, but keep it straight. The name of the exercise speaks for itself. The body should be in one line and stand firmly, without sagging or bulging. It is not easy to achieve this at first. That is why it is better to do the exercise in front of the mirror. The body should form a single line, from the tips of the legs to the top of the head. So when doing the plank, you should look down at the floor. Beginners put their feet at shoulder width, but in this position, the straight abs are not worked out. For a greater effect, the legs should be tightly closed and tense during the entire exercise. So, the correct position is legs together, resting on the toes, and knees straight. The back is straight, the abs and buttocks are tensed, and the tailbone is twisted, resting on outstretched arms, palms shoulder width apart, resting on elbows. They are straight under shoulder joints. Your face is down. Our breathing should be slow, measured, even, and by no means short or shallow. And finally, it is very important to mention the contraindications of this exercise. The plank should not be done by pregnant women, as well as extremely not recommended for people who have a back injury. Also, people who have hernias in any part of the spine or problems with joints, whether elbow, shoulder, wrist, or ankle. It is not recommended for people who are prone to high blood pressure, but in most cases, it can be performed and the plank belongs to the safe exercise, of course, if the correct technique is followed. Once you've mastered the classical routine, you can vary it. Can be varied by reversing and side planks, as well as by introducing dynamics by raising arms and legs alternately. In this way, you will increase the load on the muscles. Friends, write in the comments, how do you do the plank, or maybe you've never tried it. And now I encourage you to watch my other video where I talk about what will happen to your body if you squat regularly. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. You will find a lot more useful information below the video. All the best to you.
I wish you health.